welcome you to Salt Lake City and one of the great buildings in college gymnastics. Today, inside the Huntsman Center, number 12 Utah celebrates its seniors as part of a tri-meet with the West Virginia Mountaineers and the number 24 BYU Cougars. Hi there, folks. Nick Hope and Elisa Mao on hand. Great to have you with us. Postseason competition just on the horizon now, but before Utah can get there, they'll honor their seniors today.
And the seniors are coming into the meet in style. They just clinched the Big 12 regular season championship last weekend in Denver with a really complete performance led by Avery Neff, who picked up her 5th all-around title in a row.
Second straight year that Utah wins the Big 12 regular season crown. They've just been strong all season long.
Ella Zerbis ranks in the top 10 on 2 of her 4 events. She'll be in the all-around tonight. And then the freshman Abby Rissman has been so strong on her 2 events. But tonight, about the seniors, McKenna Smith, the final time we'll see her in that floor team. But it's all about Avery Neff on the vault. Last time she was here, she went 10 for the 2nd time this season.
West Virginia and BYU met last week in Morgantown. The Cougars were just shy of a 5th straight 196.
These new Big 12 rivals pretty evenly matched in that meet. Was impressed how BYU went across the country on the road, put together a really balanced performance. Kylie Aquinto, that senior, has been so strong on floor. You'll see her in all-around tonight.
West Virginia's Amber Lowe in the all-around for the first time in her career in that meet. She's been leading the way on 2 events.
Yeah, she's tied season highs last week on bars and beam. She has been so consistent on those 2 events, has really incredible form and power, and is really impressive to see her adding more events in her junior year.
As for BYU, Deb Silva has impressed throughout her sophomore season as a mainstay on 3 events.
She set a new career high on bars. You see her so powerful on vault as well. She has just been a sure thing for Coach Gard Young in her young career. She was on the Big 12 all-freshman team last year despite competing with a torn labrum throughout the season.
One final run in the Huntsman for 2026. When we come back to Salt Lake City, we'll get the festivities underway. Utah, BYU, and West Virginia coming up next. Big 12 Gymnastics on ESPN+. Utah hosting West Virginia and BYU today. BYU is supposed to host Iowa State. That's why they are in Salt Lake City today. So a tri-meet. Utah on vault, West Virginia bars, BYU on beam to start. It'll be Olympic order from there. Utah and West Virginia, they will be alternating. BYU will go as the judges dismiss. So we will not have all 3 events going at the same time. At most, we will have 2 routines simultaneously. So a little bit easier for the viewers to keep track.
Yeah, it'll still be a lot of gymnastics. You'll get to see everyone, but we'll alternate there. Utah and West Virginia. BYU will just be running on the screen the whole time, and we're going to go back and forth between everyone. This very exciting tri-meet, meet 10 for all of these teams.
And Utah will get us going on vault, where they are 3rd in the country. Cammie Winger making her 3rd straight start in the leadoff spot last week, 9.8. to lead things off.
They have 10-0 start values across this lineup for 1.5. Yurchenko vault coming up right now, and what a start. They wanted to come out hot with good landings. Cammie Winger getting the momentum going through the celebration tunnel. At our angle, it's a little bit hard to see landing sometimes, but that one, just a minor hop back in place. Maybe lacked a tiny bit of height, but really like the control on senior night. Their last home meet, it can be really a lot of charged emotion, so good to see her rein that in.
Over to the bars for West Virginia, Kaylin Skeel, bar specialist out of Pittsburgh. They've dropped her score the last couple of weeks. While she goes, the freshman Scarlett Sonnenberg on the balance beam for BYU. She matched a season high with a 9.85 last week.
Kaylin starting off strong over on the bars. Clean execution from her. Has a nice double layout to close with here. Great stretch position, large step back, but a good clean start. Consistent for the sophomore.
And a hug there from head coach Jason Butts. Skeel just celebrated her birthday earlier this week on Monday.
Here's the bail handstand, a little bit of form breaks in the air on that. And the dismount here, this double layout, great handstand position on the top. I love the stretch body, just a little too much power. Meanwhile, Sonnenberg, as she has done in her young freshman career, so phenomenal on balance beam. Really impressive start for the Cougars.
Ella Zerbis, 16th in the country on vault. 3 times this year, she has scored a 9.9.
Another 1.5 from Ella. Phenomenal job. Her form sets her apart on this vault. And I wasn't going to jinx her. She's been so good at finding the forward landing on the 1.5.
Last week was her second lowest score on vault all season. Nice bounce back for her here.
Yeah, take a look. I'm always interested in what the entry, the table position, did have shoulder angle and minor form as she came to the ground, but only a tiny deduction on the landing. Great score for her, over 9.9.
After the 9.875 for Winger. Now here is Kayla Smith, one of the most talented freshmen in the conference. Last week matched her season high on bars with a 9.8.
What a treat to get to see Kayla Smith in person. Just such an impressive freshman who, this is an event where Coach Jason Butts said they knew that she would immediately contribute on 3 events, but bars was not one she was really excited to contribute on. Learned a new element that we'll see at the end of her routine, a full pirouette into her dismount, and has not missed a bar lineup. She'll do the Maloney release move, little bit of leg form, but good height on the pack.
By the way, that's Ava Jorgensen with the fall there on the beam for BYU.
So Smith on bars, this is that new element, the full pirouette, nice high double tuck. Again, a little bit too much momentum and juice on these landings for West Virginia, big step. Otherwise, nice routine for the freshman. We'll take a look again at this dismount, this full pirouette into a double tuck. You see this a lot. The full pirouette needs to finish within 30 degrees of handstand. The height on that double tuck, really phenomenal. Love that both flips completed above the height of the bar.
Ella Zerbis matched a career high with a 9.925. Jorgensen completing her routine on beam. They'll look to drop her. That was an area that guard Young wanted improvement. He was hoping 6 for 6. They won't get it. Meanwhile, here's Zoe Johnson.
The sophomore has so much power. All season we've been talking about, can she rein it in? Can she find the landing? 3 for 3 on near flawless landings from the Utes to start it off. This place is rocking. Watch the height that she gets off the table. Does a nice job there delaying the twist a little bit more. Tiniest step forward, or hop forward, excuse me. Nice stretched body. I almost had it. Phenomenal job.
She had a fall just a few weeks ago, but she's responded well. Back-to-back 9.8 cents, and perhaps a little bit better there. All right, here's Haley Mendoza, freshman from Westchester, Ohio. We'll see her on beam as well. Last week, a 9.75 on bars.
And has done a couple different routines. We'll see which one she does here. Yep, the Maloney to the uprise. A unique combination. Also, Claire Raposo from Utah does a similar one. Does a nice job on that half pirouette to push through. We'll get a little deduction for the break in rhythm. But beautiful handstand, great lines. We'll have a double layout to finish and gets the stick that Coach Butts is looking for. 2 freshmen in a row doing a nice job for the Mountaineers.
Alila Alvarado to the beam for BYU. Junior from Southern California. Last week had her second best score of the season, a 9.85.
Yeah, a junior in academic year, but will graduate early. Hasn't decided yet on her 4th and final year of eligibility.
And here's our first look at McKenna Smith on her senior day.
Omelianchik vault, half on, front pike off. Beautiful job. She does that intricate vault very well. I like the height and distance on that. Sometimes it feels like she reins it in to try to stick that front pike. Does a great job with the height and the distance. Watch how far she flies. Dead center middle. Awesome. 4th of 4 great vaults, and Lila Alvarado in a pressure-filled position coming up after the fall. Wonderful job. She is so strong on that event, has one of my favorite elements in the middle there. You'll also see her closing out the meet over on bars.
Mendoza with a 9.725 on the bars for West Virginia. Now this is Amber Lowe, first of 3 events we will see, and she's been their best on bars, 11th in the Big 12.
Look at the toe point. Love the extension. Nice tight flip on that pike Jaeger. I'd like a little bit more height, but wow, gorgeous float on that pack salto. You can see why she's the top-ranked worker. Now here's her full pirouette into the double tuck. Great position on the high bar. Nice height. Hop in place, but I love how she kept her legs together all the way to the ground. And little Kobe. Here's the dismount one more time. Legs glued together. Exceptional form. Opens up. Just a little too much power there.
Another senior here for Utah, Ashley Glenn, a 3-year starter on vault, tied for 17th in the nation. Looking to bounce back from a season low she had last week on the event.
She is your reigning Big 12 vault champion, ranked 17th in the country. We'll do another Yurchenko 1.5 as this tri-meet is happening there. Looks like the judge is talking to the timeout, or excuse me, the person who's queuing them up. Ashley had a little bit longer wait than normal, but want to see her control the excellent power that she has. Beautifully done. Doesn't nail the landing, but takes a controlled step forward. Just showed really great mastery of that vault. Her form is exceptional, height and distance. Just a masterclass on how to do that vault. Appreciate that angle just to see great balance of height and distance.
Kylie Quinto on the beam for BYU.
She's worked so hard to get into the beam lineup, has been consistently in the other 3 events. But the last time she was here at Utah was her first career counting beam routine. She went 9.825. A few little nervous wobbles so far, but for her 3rd routine in a pressure-packed situation, does a nice job.
And she was not in the beam lineup last week. Gets the go-ahead this week. And now this is Jaden McDonald on the bars.
Great routine so far. Hop forward on that full twisting double back dismount. Did it in a really open body position, which is a unique technique to take. You know, the straighter your body is, the harder it is to get quick momentum and rotation on the flip. Does it nice and open. Hop forward on the landing. Great bar set so far for the Mountaineers.
A quick release there of Avery Neff. We'll get the replay for you momentarily, but you see Utah's score already, a 49-4-5 before Neff.
Exactly how they were hoping to start out, and now one of the top-ranked vaulters in the country. Could see she looked over the shoulder, tried to rein in the landing, but just a very controlled step. What differentiates Avery is her entry point, the angle at which her shoulders are. You want an acute angle when you hit the table to rise and fly off like she does. If I were the judge here, I think she would top that McKenna Smith 9.85 score. What a start for the Red Rocks.
Meanwhile, BYU putting up solid scores after that fall. Brinley Anderson Brookman, they call her the Beam Queen.
Qualified as an individual competitor for BYU to the NCAA championships 2 years ago. Rotated with Missouri during that meet. Said she had such an incredible experience coming up after Helen Hu went 10 to put Missouri in the NCAA finals for the first time. And this is as loud and crazy of an environment as they will face. So important and helpful for them to prepare for Big 12 championships, for future postseason meets.
That was Journey Lane wrapping things up on bars for West Virginia, the junior in her first of 3 events.
That has one of my favorite unique skills Journey Lane does at the beginning, while Brinley does a phenomenal job here.
Here's the exhibition on vault for Utah. Poppy Stickler from Wales, her family in attendance here today.
First time seeing Poppy on vault, learned a full twist, had been doing a 1.5 in the elite ranks where she competed for Team Great Britain on the World Championship stage. And her family from Wales, first time they visited her in the country. They'll be here for a couple weeks, also head out to the meet in LA next weekend. That sophomore class has such exceptional depth across the lineup, from Stickler, Raposo, of course, Avery Neff and Zoe Johnson, and she is such a powerhouse for them. We'll also should see her over on floor to close things out, but so important to use these exhibition spots to round out your depth and prepare for future seasons.
Speaking of exhibitions, Miranda Smith for West Virginia on the bars. Just made her season debut last week. She'd been dealing with a concussion since the fall. The senior finally good to go here late in the year, wanting to finish this season on her own terms.
And on bars, this is an event where she competed in every meet her freshman and sophomore year. Last time in the lineup in a counting position was January 12th, 2024. Does a very solid job so far, rushing a little bit. Want to see some more control on the handstands. She'll get that timing dialed in future meets, but nice double layout dismount, a little bit unsure there, but what an accomplishment to fight through that, to get back in the bar lineup.
And the final on beam for BYU, Chloe Hoke, junior out of Pittsburgh. She's been in this beam lineup for the last couple of years. And they need a hit from her.
They really need a hit, and last week she had some uncharacteristic wobbles. So far handling this raucous environment so well. A dismount, round off, 1.5 coming up. Hop forward, but you can see teammates are erupting around her because they are able to drop that 8-9 from Ava Jorgensen and not count a fall to start on balance beam. Guard Young said he was excited to get into another tri-meet. Obviously not how they wanted to end the season. They were hoping this would be senior night against Iowa State, but any more opportunities you have to compete at the Huntsman in a tri-meet against conference rivals is another important test and challenge for the athletes to see how they handle all this noise.
Oh, he didn't get the 6 for 6 he was looking for on beam, but he saw his squad respond to a fall on just the second routine and did so well. And now Deb Silva to exhibition here for BYU.
So strong on the other 3 events, as we highlighted in the open. Did 1 counting routine this season against Oregon State. Didn't quite go her way, so important to get more experience in that exhibition role. Minor delay there, slight bobble on the flight series, the front to back. I like how confidently she's working beam. Beat jump in the side aerial. Want to get those arms up quickly. Your arms and your shoulders are like the headlights of a car, where your arms and shoulders go, your body tends to go. So want to keep those well positioned. You can see there the shoulders got just a little back behind the hips, and at this point, I think she's just rushing a tad to get off the beam here, but back handspring, gainer full. Nice height. See the potential is there, just the confidence, something that they will look to build for Deb Silva, which we know she has in spades across the other events.
So strong first rotations for BYU and Utah especially. They each are just a 10th shy of their season highs on their respective events here. Utah at 49.5 and BYU at 49.275. Coming up next, Ella Zerbis is quietly leading Utah. We sat down with her to find out why she came to be with the Utes. Plus, Elisa will talk with BYU head coach Guard Young. Don't go anywhere. All that coming up next.
Just an exquisite gymnast to watch. Power and grace.
And now the two-time All-American to the bars, Ella Zerbis.
And another stick. Huntsman is rocking after that one. Just such a treat to watch Ella Zerbis.
What brought me to Utah was the team culture, the beautiful mountains, the coaches. I actually had a connection with the old former coach. He was my club coach's best friend. So Utah Gymnastics came into our gym a lot ever since I was young. I think I was 9 years old, and my club coach told me to go up to the Utah coach and say, "Hi, my name is Ella, I'm 9, and when I'm older, I'm going to come to Utah." And I did that exactly, and you know, now look at me. So I think that's one of my earliest memories about Utah. Standing at the start of the runway, all I'm thinking about is honestly how lucky I am to have this opportunity, because it goes by so fast, and I have to remind myself that. So that's what I think about every time before I compete a routine, not even just vault. And I think that really helps me. I love vault and bars because they're kind of quick, very dynamic. I'd say I'm a very dynamic gymnast as well. You know, vault is 5 seconds long. I just do it and then I'm done. And then bars, I just love flying around on the bars. That's definitely my favorite event. You can tell by how I perform on it. Oh, for sure. I think it's a home advantage. I mean, just look at that place. It's always filled, it's always loud, and it's always cheering for the Red Rocks, of course. We definitely feed off their energy. We create our own energy as well, but I think the Huntsmen, it can never hurt.
We will see Ella Zerbis on the bars here momentarily, where she is tied for 5th in the nation. Carly Dockendorf says she is one of the most underrated gymnasts in the country.
The power that she has is matched by the grace and the elegance in which she performs her gymnastics. I think has one of the best release moves on bars that we will see. And I've been really impressed at how she has worked to wake her way into the beam lineup. Well, we will see her tonight. So she's in all around for, I think, just the 5th time in her career. It's a pressure-packed position to be in the balance beam lineup for this Red Rocks team, but she has proven up to the task.
Strong start for Utah on vault, also a strong start for BYU on the beam. Moments ago, Lisa caught up with head coach Gard Young to talk about just that.
So it's senior night here. We want to talk about your senior, Kylie Aquinto. Went up on beam, has worked hard to make that lineup. Talk about Kylie.
Yeah, Kylie's just the heart and soul of our team. You know you're going to be missed when you're not even done, and we already miss her. So.
Okay, what can we expect from floor? Has been such a dominant rotation for you so far this season.
Yeah, I think it's great that beam is done. We got it. We're through it now, and now we're just off to the races. So don't hold back. Just let it fly.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
You bet. Thanks.
Gard Young very grateful that BYU is here because of the situation at Iowa State, initially canceling the season, now discontinuing the program altogether.
Yeah, really unfortunate to see any program canceled, especially women's gymnastics isn't widely offered across the NCAA. But what's been incredible is to see how tight-knit the gymnastics community is. And mid-season, West Virginia was on a road trip at O'Hare Airport on the way to compete at Iowa State. When that meet was canceled, they had a quick pivot, were invited to compete with Northern Illinois that weekend. And then today, BYU is in town because they were invited here to make up for their meet being canceled. So this is a community that takes care of each other. And really excited to see them here today.
Yeah, head coach Jason Butts for West Virginia said it took about an hour and a half at O'Hare Airport for them to pivot and change their plans that weekend. All right, McKenna Smith, she's been in this leadoff spot every meet. Of course, the bars champion in the Big 12 last year.
Flies high at that pack salto. The Van Leeuwen coming up right here. Release move, low to high, beautifully done. Love the form between the bars. And McKenna is all about landings. Front pike, half, nails it. Love to see it. She didn't get the stick on vault, so glad to see her get it on bars. She is such a fan favorite. They gave away sunglasses in her honor across the Huntsman tonight. Look at the form, glued together, catches with the arms straight, has a 9.975 career high, and this dismount front pike half, can spot the ground, chest up, and nails the landing.
Floor underway for BYU. Once again, Scarlett Sonnenberg in the leadoff position, coming off a 9.8 on the event last week.
And in that leadoff spot so many times on beam and floor. Such an impressive role for a freshman to serve.
And Kayla Smith leading off beam for West Virginia. Her very first college routine this year, she led off beam at Florida, was really thrown into the fire.
He said of coming to the Huntsman, Coach Jason Butts, they are really excited to see this atmosphere, but they've dealt with it. They went to Florida. The seniors went to LSU early in their career. Phenomenal layout, step out series there. The form and the height were really beautiful, like her pacing as well so far. Just seems remarkably calm given this scenario. This is very unique in gymnastics. The crowds drawn in NCAA gymnastics, you know, Arkansas went over 15,000 last night. The Huntsman holds the record, over 16,000, but this is very unique in gymnastics. Step forward on that dismount. Otherwise, great job, and these gymnasts handling this pressure so well. Scarlett does beautiful work over on the floor, and then this layout series, I was talking about how exceptional that was, and her poise on this event really outperforming her, you know, the maturity, just a freshman. She has been in every single lineup on every event so far in her young career.
No holding back her freshman year. Here's the senior, Ashley Glenn, making her season debut on bars, but no stranger to the event. She was in the lineup 13 times last year, had 5 scores at 9-9 or better.
Check out her toe point in handstand positions. Excellent on the Maloney, good bail. Those Stalter, that circle work she does there, we'll see it again on the high bar after that beautiful handstand. Wow. Let's see if she can get the double tuck. Opens and hangs on for the stick. Wow. That is exactly what they were hoping for in the debut. You said it right. She has a lot of experience on bars for the Red Rocks, but not so far this season. Comes in clutch for Carly Dockendorf. There's that Stalter position I mentioned, and then the double tuck. She had played with the double layout, learned it in the off season, but went back to the tried and true double tuck and nails it.
Amber Lowe to the balance beam. She's got the highest score of anyone on the team this year on beam with a 9-9. And Daisy Stevenson on the left side of your screen. Had a fall in the first meet this year on floor, took a couple of meets off, made some tweaks, and she's been nails ever since.
Yeah, Daisy Stevenson so strong on vault and floor for BYU. And Amber Lowe has exceptional toe point. I love how she works releve on beam. That's up on your high toe point. Excellent side aerial to the beat jump. She won the balance beam at Towson last week. They had 2 meets last week, home against BYU, and then turned around, went to Towson. This has been an exceptional beam routine so far.
And that meet at Towson, by the way, they scored a season high, 196.35. Highest team score in 3 years.
And it has been a season where they have been trying to reach their potential. That was a phenomenal beam routine. I did not see hardly an error there out of Amber Lowe. And look at this 1.5 dismount again. We see a lot of them. Sometimes when you twist, gymnasts can cross over their ankles a little bit. Love how hers were just glued together and was in the perfect position to stick that landing.
Next up on bars for Utah, Abby Risman.
A great reaction there from Amber Lowe. Now a freshman, Abby Risman, 2-time Big 12 newcomer of the week this season, coming off a 9.725 on bars.
Yeah, overcooked her pirouette on the low bar, but look at her toe point, this eagle grip to Jaeger. Oh, she was so far, reached out with every inch that she had to catch that bar. Excellent job. Love this extension. Right there is where she struggled last week. Not an issue today. Does a double layout dismount, but the handstand positions and the circles so far just phenomenal. Double layout, and it was a little bit pikey on that second somersault, so takes the step back. But Abby Risman, bars and beams, such an incredible job on those 2 events so far.
Had a career high 9.925 last time BYU was in the building. We'll see if it can be a 3rd straight 9-9 for Utah to start the event.
Yeah, competed for the same club gym as Ella Zerbis. Their toe point is on point at Flips out of Minnesota.
Haley Mendoza for West Virginia to the beam. Brindley Anderson Brookman on floor for BYU. Mendoza just a freshman. Anderson Brookman just 2 weeks ago had a career high 9.9.
Amber Lowe set her up well with that 9.875, near career high for her. She'll start over on beam with her back handspring layout series. Well landed, little bit of form in the air. Want to see really stretched legs, toes. She's competed on the national stage quite a bit, 3 times. She qualified to the National Development Program Championships. There's her front aerial, good job coming over the top, and was a little bit slow, but didn't let that impact her. Solid flight series, or excuse me, leap series. I want to see just a little bit more extension through her knees and toes throughout. But here's her 1.5 minor hop forward, but freshman managing this loud crowd beautifully. 3 for 3 hit beam routines for the Mountaineers. Another fun, loud one from Brindley Brookman.
As for West Virginia on beam, this has been statistically their weakest event this season. So far, so good halfway through.
Yep.
And now Ella Zerbis, 5th in the country on bars. Last time BYU was here, just missed the 10. Had a career high 9.975.
Shouldn't be this way, but I contend that if she were later in the lineup, she would have gotten that 10. This execution, the handstand positions, the toe point, and this Jaeger coming up is what I talked about being best in the country. Unfortunately, catches too close, has to bend the arms, and this is improvisation right here. Normally she does an overshoot, but does a great job, not a form break. Controls the pack salto beautifully. Tiny bit of an arch on the high bar, and here's her full twisting double back. She does, nails that landing. So not perfection from Zerbis, just so much height on that Jaeger that bent the arms on the catch a little bit. Bars is all about timing, and she was just a tiny bit too long on that release move, but that is exquisite. Perfect position to do a safe and controlled landing on that full twisting double back.
And the all-around for the 5th time this season. Now this is where West Virginia made some lineup changes within the last day. Miranda Smith was initially the anchor, the senior elevated up here to the 4 spot. And this is the event she debuted on last week, mentioned in the first rotation, coming back from that concussion.
Standing 2 layouts in a row coming up. So difficult. Love to see a little bit of originality and the difficulty done there. When you've got limited competition numbers under your belt, it can be so nerve-wracking. Handling it beautifully. Was in exhibition in that meet against BYU. And then in the lineup at Towson, but otherwise it's been out quite a bit. Working so smoothly as she, in the lineup shuffle, nails the landing. 4 for 4 for the Mountaineers. Jessica Yams on there, their beam coach. She competed for Arkansas, was an incredible performer for them.
And she got the plunger.
The plunger
that is
hat.
quite a unique celebration. The plunger hat. I like it.
West Virginia has a lot of unique characteristics. So fun to see new teams in the Big 12 and get to learn what their traditions are.
Deb Silva wrapping up here on floor.
BYU has such a strong balance in their floor routines of great tumbling and really impressive leaps. That's one area where BYU really excels.
Our first look at another senior for Utah, Anna Patarariu. She has scored 9.9+ in her last 4 meets.
And What I love about her bars is the control that she shows throughout. She's not rushed. She shows every element off the very extended versions of them, which could be a little nerve-wracking. That Maloney was caught as far out as you could be, and another front pike half dismount. Just exactly how you want it to go on senior night. This can be such an emotional, overwhelming meet for your final time at home. And so sometimes you see people, trying a little too hard to be perfect, but wow, that was unreal. Again, you could snap a photo at any point in Anna's routines, and there are hardly an error to be found. Love to see it.
She's been knocking on the door her entire career.
Oh, she goes 9.975, gets the 10 from one judge, but a new career high. Yep. So well deserved. And meanwhile, Journey Lane here in this insanely loud environment. The pitch front there is an important component in her flight series. So she's gonna improvise right now, do a different version. Back handspring, layout, bobbles, but stays on the beam. Again, improvising right now. And she's only been in 4 lineups this season. She's fallen twice. Not jinxing her, she's staying on the beam today. We're gonna will it.
Kylie Quinto, the senior for BYU there on the left.
Love her baseball-themed routine as Journey wraps up into the dismount, sticks the landing. Love how she finished strong after the improvisation that was required there. Look at her dismount. Was the highlight for sure, that back handspring into the 1.5. Arms bent on the back handspring, a little bit of form in the air, but does not move the feet on the landing. Quinto, this is such a fun performance, baseball-themed routine in honor of her brothers that love the sport. Has a teammate on the sideline, usually carrying a mitt that she pitches to.
Oh, what a second rotation this has been. Everybody sticking, everybody hitting, and now here is Avery Neff after Patarariu's new career high of a 9.975. Also, McKenna Smith's score, that's a season high for her as well. And here is Neff. Last time BYU was in the building, had the 10 on bars.
And she had to improvise last week after catching that Ginger a little close, but as programmed today, that Ginger to overshoot, beautifully done. And this one of the most dynamic dismounts in college gymnastics. Full twisting double layout and was way higher than she normally is. So bent the legs over the top. That will be a deduction, that form break in the air, uncharacteristic for her. I was gonna say the just sort of trajectory and the physics of that dismount was different than we normally see from Avery. Let's take a look at this. So the release point on the bars, she just hangs on a tiny bit longer, and so didn't quite have the rotation that she needed to maintain that layout position coming over the top. So bent the knees. That likely will be the score that Utah drops, and they'll still have a 49.5.
Awesome. So Auden Peterson, this is her debut on beam this year, freshman from Forest Lake, Minnesota. And then Maya Kirkham for BYU, making her 3rd straight start on floor in the anchor spot.
So Auden Peterson, before her, no falls, but some scores that are a little bit lower. I'm sure Coach Butts would love to drop them. Really cool combination of the front aerial right to the back layout, a little bit of leg form. But like you mentioned, her debut, she's a Minnesota gymnast like many you've seen here on the floor. Midwest Gymnastics Center, same club as Olympic champion Suni Lee. And off the beam, the layout, gainer full. hop back, but what a debut. They have been working to find the beam lineup that works for them, have had many iterations so far this season, and this was a new one. Did some last-minute changes that have went their way. Great job for West Virginia. Another strong routine from BYU. Maya Kirkham, very dynamic for them. They want to drop that score from Deb Silva. I think that will do it.
So scores are in for Utah on bars of 49.5, just short of the season high of 49.55. So on track for a potential 198 kind of day here for Utah through 2 rotations. Clara Raposo now with the exhibition.
Sophomore has a little bit different style. There's that uprise to free hip I talked about earlier. The Pac Salto lost the form in the air, was really high, and then right into the Van Leeuwen. Nice form there. But these handstands just a tiny bit shy of that 180 mark. Step back, so not her very best routine, but again, important to keep your competition form in that exhibition spot. And a good view of this new Utes Leo that they debuted tonight. The seniors designed it. You can see them throwing up the U on the back of the Leo. We'll see that in spades throughout their beam lineup in rotation 3.
Exhibition on floor for BYU is Chloe Hoke. Saw her moments ago on beam. So a 49.1 for BYU. That's right around their average this year. They've been very strong on the floor.
And was so strong beam, 9.85 before this. Excellent extension on those leaps. She dances a little bit longer and does some more leaps before she does her first pass. We'll just do 2 passes, so you'll see more leaps from her. We'll start with round off double tuck. Good height, but kicks it open a little bit early, so has to take a step forward. That'll be a deduction.
And by the way, the judges have been conferring for the last several minutes for Auden Peterson's score for West Virginia.
Well, I was wondering about her leap series. I didn't see a 180 leap in there. We'll see what start value they give her. Chloe's coming back to floor here. Her dad played football at BYU, also for the Steelers, and when they were out east last week at West Virginia, they got to tour the Steelers facility with her father. Coach Young said that was quite a highlight of their long road trip. So not her very best floor routine with that step forward, but love seeing the junior working her way into the beam and floor lineups.
So it's a 9-7 for Peterson. Everybody hitting across 3 events in that second rotation. You love to see it. All right, coming up next, we'll talk with West Virginia head coach Jason Butts to talk about his team. And it's senior night. We'll talk about the Utes' steady presence on the team. You're watching Big 12 Gymnastics on ESPN+. Final home meet of the season here at the Huntsman Center, and here are scores through the first 2 rotations. A couple of 49.5s for Utah to get to 99 even. BYU strong through their first 2 events, just short of their season high on beam. And West Virginia hitting routines left and right as well. Moments ago, Elisa caught up with West Virginia head coach Jason Butts.
A new look beam lineup in that rotation. Talk about the adjustments that you made and how they did.
You know what? Anytime that we come in an environment like this and we have 3 freshmen, especially one that hasn't competed yet in that lineup, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I was so proud of them. They got up, they got the job done, and really the whole rotation was great. Like I said, this is a tough environment, and for them to get up there, it was great.
How are they going to, take that momentum and bring it with them over to floor?
Well, floor is their favorite event. Like, they love showing off their dance, so I just told them, let's go over there and have fun. It's a great rotation for us. Let's show this Utah crowd what we can do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jason Butt's always a great guy to catch up with, and this crowd extra charged because it is senior day. 4 seniors being honored today for the Red Rocks. McKenna Smith, of course, has been just such a fan favorite over the years. Her resume speaks for itself, but her personality is so infectious inside this building.
And loves engaging with the fans. You saw her distributing sunglasses you'll see throughout the crowd. I've loved watching across her career how the style of the sunglasses have evolved.
Anna Paterario, only been here a couple of years, but it feels like she's been here so much longer.
And look at the resume. She was a member of the Canadian national team, won a beam medal at the World Championships, and then went to UCLA, tried to train for the Paris Olympics, had an injury, and then made her way to Salt Lake. Her then fiance was drafted by Real Salt Lake. She enrolled at Utah as a student, didn't even come to this school on scholarship for gymnastics, asked Carly if there was a spot available, was a walk-on in the beginning, and then the contribution she's made has really been called the servant leader on the team.
And a full circle couple of weekends for her. Senior night for her here today, and then next Saturday, it'll be Utah at UCLA for the Bruins senior night.
Love that they're keeping the tradition going between these two powerhouse West Coast teams.
Of course, Ashley Glenn, we've seen her a couple of times already. Carly Dockendorf says she is just such a perfectionist. She is never satisfied, always trying to up the ante.
You see that in her exceptional form and technique across the events. But what I'm so excited about today is that she's supposed to be making her balance beam debut in exhibition. Said it was her dream to compete on balance beam in the Huntsman. So hope to see that at the end of the lineup here.
Yeah, so Utah on beam, West Virginia on floor, BYU on vault here in this third rotation. Let's revisit vault for Utah. Very strong start, a 49.5, just short of their season high.
I was so impressed across this vault lineup at the control in their landings. Sometimes when you're focusing on sticking, you lose your technique, you lose some, momentum in the air, but these vaults flew so high. The crowd was ready to erupt for an Avery Neff 10, but I love the control that she shows in addition to her great height and momentum.
49.5 there on vault, the season high this year, a 49.6. And then the Red Rocks following that up with a 49.5 on bars. Elizabeth Gantner, the junior out of Indianapolis, the beam specialist, has been terrific in this leadoff role. Last week, though, a 9.775. Only the second time this year she scored below a 9.8.
Carly talked about unique beam jump judging that happened last week. She did routine summaries for all 6 of the Red Rocks performance. When I watched back, I think there were about a 10.5 low across the board. But the position that Gantner is in right now, she warmed this event up about 2.5 hours ago and has to stay mentally focused to lead off this balance beam team. And right there, that switch half is essential to a combination that she needs both for a special requirement and for her start value. So she's going to repeat it right here, needs to connect to the straddle jump. Nicely done. But we'll get a large deduction for that leg up error on that first version of it. Won't get a deduction for repeating the skill. You can do it twice.
Carly Nelson starting on floor, and so a weird situation if you're someone like Gantner. You have your beam music going, it fades out, and then we start the floor music for Nelson.
Yeah, this is a good practice for the Utes as to how they'll experience postseason meets. So Gantner, not the routine that we're used to seeing from her, will be the one they want to toss out. Really big tumbling from Carly Nelson there with the front to double tuck to start, almost too much power.
The senior, their most experienced gymnast on the roster, scored as high as a 9.825 this year.
Coach talked about her incredible work ethic and relentless drive towards her goals. Did not expect to make bars and worked her way into that lineup in her career. She had an Achilles tear to open the 2024 season, has had to work so hard to make it back into the floor lineup. Beautiful start.
Daisy Stevenson on vault.
Beautiful form in the air on that vault, but you notice she landed on the white line. Those white lines show the judges if you're on center with the vault or not, and so there's not a prescribed deduction based on where you land, you know, over the line or not, but it does indicate that she twisted a little early off the table.
Can certainly be an influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just a 9.725 for Gantner, and now Ella Zerbis. This has been the spot in the lineup they've been trying to figure out.
And they have done lots of different beam lineups. 6 times they have changed their lineup, and that was a nervy start on that candle mount. Legs bent a little bit. She was almost seemed a little bit far away from the beam. So this is when you want to take a deep breath, gain confidence before you go into the back handspring layout series. Good pacing, but you could see the hips went off in the middle of that layout. See her breathing through. Here's her leap series switch half. We saw Liz struggle with that, but really nice extension, and I love the tick-tock here. Shows off her flexibility and a full turn away from her dismount. So has settled in nicely. We'll do a gainer full in the tuck position off the end. Looking to stick this to get the team back on track. Beautifully done. Heels together, stuck the landing, but a little bit nervy for these first 2 Utah beam performers.
Last week, returned to the beam for the first time since January 20th, scored a 9.825. As we see Taylor Toohey matched a career high last week with a 9.825. It's her 4th straight start on floor and 5th overall. And that was Maya Kirkham, by the way, doing the vault for BYU.
Pretty start for Taylor Toohey. Rudy split jump. She's coming off a 9.9 at Towson. It's a really gorgeous quality of dance and style. It's called artistic gymnastics for a reason. It's supposed to be a combination of the dance and the tumbling and the leaps, and really artfully combine those 3, make it look like it's easier than it is. Taylor competed for Prestige Gymnastics out in Pennsylvania. Her club coaches, the parents of Oklahoma gymnast Addison Feta. We'll close with a 1.5 front layout. Good height on the 1.5, little bit low on the front layout, but really beautiful dance and leaps in that routine. You talked about the music changing when the beam songs start. Such contrast to what's happening on floor, and Abby Rissman in a pressure-packed role as the freshman. Coach Carly Dockendorf, the beam coach, gathered her squad after their 2nd routine that didn't go perfectly. Those 9.7 scores, not where the Utes want to be. So we'll see how Rissman responds in this position.
Scarlett Sonnenberg there, the 3rd of her 3 events. Rissman, as a freshman, tied for 21st in the country on beam.
did a really nice save. That back handspring into that series was a little off. It was kind of short. This is the second most difficult combination. Side summy. You can see her just checking herself a little bit. We don't always see her doing that, but this is when gymnasts get a little bit tight, when you know that you have to stick. Sometimes can change just the tiniest bit of how you second guess yourself and finish elements maybe a little bit early, start thinking about what's ahead. Does a double full dismount to close. Has been so strong this season in all of her beam lineups and gets the stick. You could see the team erupted, the crowd erupted. That is what they hoped the freshman could deliver to get them back on track.
Just 2 weeks removed from a 9.95 here at the Huntsman.
He's won 2 beam titles already. This double twist, good height, little bit of twisted ankles there, but does a nice job finding the landing.
Pair of 9.75s to start West Virginia on floor. Now Journey Lane coming off a 9.85 on floor. And Deb Silva on vault on the left-hand side.
Journey's a really powerful front tumbler. We'll start with Rudy into a layout, split jump. You could see she was right into the corner, did a nice job knowing where she was, staying in bounds. Had a season-ending injury in 2025. Great to see her back in so many events.
She was a former level 10 national champ on floor back in 2022. And a 3-star recruit out of Tennessee.
Good completion on those wolf fulls. You want to make sure all the dance elements are really crisply completed at the exact rotation they want to be. You can see athletes kind of cheat them a little bit. Not there. And saves a hard pass for last. This is a front double twist. Excellent landing. It's an E element. She gets an extra bonus for doing that at the end of her routine. Very fun routine for Journey Lane.
Coming off a 9.85 last time, and now here is Anna Patarariu. So Rissman got Utah back on track at 9.875, and now Patarariu, who just moments ago set a new career high on bars.
Known for this event, I mentioned she won the 2018 silver medal at the World Championships on this event for Team Canada. Was on the cusp of making both the 2020 and 2024 Canadian Olympic teams. Just had really unfortunate timing with some injuries, but had all paths led her to Utah. Double wolf turn, beautifully done. And we've talked to Carly a lot about Anna and how she just seems to radiate joy on an event that could not be more stressful in the balance beam. There's her flight series, got to connect the two. Flawless. Talked about how gymnastics has taught her so many lessons, hard lessons, great lessons. So to watch her in the final beam routine in the Huntsman, really special.
Have you seen someone compete with so much joy and freedom on the beam?
It's very unique. You go over the floor exercise and people like to talk about showing your personality and things like that, but Anna just shows how much joy she finds from gymnastics on the stressful event called the balance beam, and kind of lost focus there. So that gainer pike, she bent her knees coming over the top. So will be a deduction, and they could devalue that move. So you have to dismount with a C element. And if they count that as not a pike, if they count that as a tuck, we'll see a start value deduction by 0.2 of a point.
So while we await that score, Kayla Smith, the freshman all-arounder, been very consistent on floor. She has one of the 9 9s for the team this year.
And watch the vault for Kylie Quinto on the left. Is a massive full and a stick. BYU had been looking for that, but back over to that double layout start. The second flip was done in such beautiful position. Sometimes those are piped down. Kayla had so much power. She was able to do it perfectly straight. Leaps coming up. Terjete split full. Beautiful landing. She's won 4 all-around titles. Like I mentioned, hasn't missed a routine in her West Virginia career. But this is a tough pass to finish with. She'll do a front pike into a double tuck. Love that front pike. Got to get all the way around, and phenomenal height on that double tuck. What a special gymnast Kayla Smith is. Really phenomenal routine. Let's take a look at this last pass. It's cool to see this front pike. We often see the front tuck, and then goes right into the double tuck. Good rise, nice chest position, and then keeps the feet in check.
So the boos you heard at the tail end of Smith's routine for the 9-8 that Paterario received. So I think you were right on about her dismount.
Yeah, just a 9-8 low score for them. This is not the beam rotation, but the athletes from Utah, we know that they can do better, but this is the emotions of senior night, I think, at play right now. So looking to Avery, who is such a strong beam competitor, but on both of the elements she's done so far, just slight bobbles, slightly off center. Shushinova, and she'll do the U before dropping into the straddle. Ranked 12th in the country on this event. Made some adjustments to this routine earlier in the season. So far, again, just like tiny nerves showing up here and there, but phenomenal dismount. That gainer full position on that is just stunning.
Exhibition Zoe Hale there you just saw from vault, but for Neff, she's been on a roll on beam. Personal best 9.95 in 4 of the last 5 meets coming in.
Yeah, we've seen some flawless beam for Avery. She knows that that wasn't her very, very best. Just some slight errors, balance checks from this Red Rock squad so far.
By the way, for BYU, that 49.025, not quite a season high, but close. One of their better marks of the year. They're quietly having a very good afternoon. Now here's Emerson Smith. She is their top scorer on floor by average, coming off a season high 9.9.
We saw a double layout last routine. Get ready for a full in here out of the round off. So powerful. Great landing. Top ranked floor worker on this team. Really great switch, split, full height on those leaps. Really spectacular. Coach talked about she gets a little nervous before floor. The performance side of it is something that takes athletes some time to develop. And they like to distract her before floor, tell jokes, loosen her up. Her club coach, Becky Morrison-Doggett, was a really exceptional performer for West Virginia. Some front tumbling to close. Front layout to the Rudy, well landed. Beautiful tumbling throughout that routine, lots of difficulty from the sophomore.
Yeah, excited for her future. All freshman team pick a year ago. Was in the floor lineup all throughout her first year on campus. And just getting better and better as she works late into her sophomore season. All right, Cami Winger looking for a big score for Utah, try and salvage this beam rotation. Last week a 9-8. Her 6th consecutive week in this anchor role.
Cami does a triple series, back handspring 2 layouts shortly after mounting the beam. So difficult. Coming up right now. Got to really push through the base leg on that back handspring and the second flip. Wow, you could tell. Nick, you nodded your head after the first one. You knew she was on. It was the most challenging flight series being done in college gymnastics. Now just needs to nail that. Full turn and a dismount away from the Utah beam close that they're looking for.
Now, you know far more than me, but I could see the propulsion with that first.
Just a minor shoulder drop on that full turn. Throws up the U to the student section who are right in front of her. Huntsman, just about as small of a floor that you can fit a gymnastics meet onto. Fans are really connected to the athletes on the floor. Minor hop in place. But volume is in here. Just ear-splitting. They recognize good gymnastics and how important that routine was for this lineup.
She had a run of 3 straight 9-9s earlier this season, hoping for that to finish off the rotation.
And that 2 layout series, the form that she maintained for that, absolutely beautiful. And then this, she just comes up a little early. You want to absorb the landing just a little bit. But really exceptional job in that pressure-packed anchor position.
All smiles for Cami Winger. Auden Peterson anchoring West Virginia's floor. This was a late change and a boost for the score. It's a 9-8-5 for Winger as Peterson gets going on floor where she has made 7 starts this year.
Tough position to be in amidst those boos. Lands the front layout to Rudy well. I want a little bit more height on that second somersault. But the freshman is weathering this position beautifully. Love her performance quality. Seems a natural entertainer. The double pike second pass. Beautifully done. Love the open hip position into that to really turn those pikes around very quickly. She's been in almost all of their lineups in her freshman career. That switch ring position, technically want your foot to almost hit your head, really form a box. Really enjoying the choreography in these routines. It's handled by assistant coach there, Kaylin Millick, was a West Virginia gymnast herself.
On her 3rd different stint as an assistant with the Mountaineers. So this 3rd rotation wrapping up, but we still have some exhibitions. We've mentioned all the seniors for Utah. The only one we haven't seen yet until now, Sarah Crump, the former walk-on.
Has been an important backup for Utah on the balance beam a couple times. Minor wobble to start on that full turn. Has another triple series of her own, does 2 back handsprings into a layout step out right now. Really beautifully done. Love to see you're settling in after that full turn. His exhibition throughout her career. Carly could not contain herself when talking about how impressed she is with Sarah Crump's career at Utah. Started as a walk-on, earned a scholarship, was named team captain by her teammates. McKenna Smith and Avery Neff named captains by her coach, but Sarah Crump acknowledged by her teammates as such a critical part of this team. Love to see that stuck Gainer Pike at Huntsman, and we will see her in leadoff on floor, a position that Carly said is not at all about it being senior night. She has worked so hard to earn that lineup position on floor.
Can't wait to see that. It'll be coming up in short order. Now Sophie Rice exhibitioning on floor for West Virginia. She was initially in the lineup, but swapped her and Peterson earlier this afternoon.
Red Rocks fan used to hearing this Top Gun music. It's a really phenomenal performer on this event. Was all conference championship team member as a freshman. Does a nice job getting that double twist around. Sometimes when you take a step off to the side like that, it's indicative that you've just started twisting off the ground a little too early. That first pass front double was an upgrade she made this season.
Was part of the Big 12 All-Championship team on floor last year.
More front tumbling to close here. 2 in a row, front layout, front fold. That was stunning, good height. Couple more leaps to wrap up the routine. Nice floor set for West Virginia, and great depth for them to have with Sophie Rice there in the exhibition spot.
So we will have not one but 2 exhibitions on beam. Ashley Glenn, who has waited her entire career to do a beam routine here at Utah, now has that opportunity.
Told Coach Dockendorf that it was a dream of hers to hear her beam song be in this balance beam performance for the Red Rocks.
Bittersweet Symphony.
Could not have scripted it any better. Her last counting routine on balance beam, she transferred from Temple, where she was a phenomenal all-arounder for them, where both of her parents competed in gymnastics. The last counting beam routine, March of 2023. Exhibition where we saw her in Red Rocks previews a couple times, and her series then was a front aerial to 2 back handsprings, just like it is today. Beautifully connected. Looked like there was a minor hesitation between the 2, but love the finish. Good finish, and the execution that we're used to seeing from Ashley Glenn, the extension from the toes. Beautiful positions, and here's her gainer back handspring to the full. Dream realized for Ashley Glenn, not in the floor lineup tonight, so that is her Huntsman finale. Not exactly the beam rotation that Utah wanted, low 49 for them.
49.15, it's not far off though their season average, so did well to recover after the bumpy start.
That felt like an emotional high for those seniors to conclude the way they did on balance beam. Let's hope that's the sentiment they take into floor.
Speaking of one of those seniors, coming up, Sarah Crump, you mentioned, named team captain by her teammates for her final season at Utah. Our team sat down with her to get her take on graduating from Utah. Plus, we'll catch up with Utah head coach Carly Donkendorf for her thoughts on the Red Rocks.
It's been a whirlwind to be a part of this program in the context of my teammates and my coaches, but then also the fans as well. The fans actually play a huge part in our experience here, and I think the fans and the support that we get from them has really been what's driven me through those hard days, and it's always really meant a lot for me to have some of the fans come up and say, hey, we saw you freshman year to sophomore year, and we see the progress that you've made in such a big jump in that year. So it's been undescribable, but that is the best way I could describe it. Nearing the end of my career is difficult. Of course, no one wants to say goodbye to such an incredible program and teammates and coaches, but I'm really excited for what comes afterwards. And one thing that is particularly special about Utah Gymnastics is the bond that the alumni have. And I know even though I won't be part of the team that's currently competing, I will forever be part of the Utah Gymnastics family. And so I can move on to different things and, you know, leave this chapter of my life, but I will still be a part of Utah forever.
Carly Donkendorf said that she is going to share Sarah Crumb's journey and her story for years to come. And she also said she could argue that Sarah has had the greatest amount of success here because of her growth across these 4 years.
Love to see a story like that. Resilience, hard work, and work your way into this floor lineup. Awesome. Can't wait to see what Sarah Crumb has for us.
And speaking of the head coach, Elisa caught up with her moments ago.
Carly, balance being always an emotional rotation, but you got to conclude with exhibitions from 2 of your 4 seniors. Talk about what we just saw from Sarah Crum and Ashley Glenn.
I mean, just so proud of them. They've worked so hard. I mean, this was Ashley's dream to have a turn to compete in the Huntsman, and I mean, she handled it so well. And just, I mean, Sarah has worked so diligently every day to be able to do that routine, and couldn't say enough great things about those 2 women.
Now we can't proceed without talking about Anna Patarariu. Career high for her on bars, and then a beautiful, joyful beam routine. Not her very best at the end, but talk about what Anna's meant to the program.
I mean, she just is joyous. I mean, everything she does, she just serves in the community and serves this team, and I thought that was the best bar routine I've seen her do, and just couldn't be more proud of her.
And then McKenna Smith. We'll see her last floor performance in the Huntsman. Talk about McKenna.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get a little emotional for her. She's just loved competing here all these years. It's been more than gymnastics for her. These fans mean everything to her, and she's been handing sunglasses out all night, and I might put on a pair when she goes.
Me too. Yeah. Thanks so much, Carly. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, it is senior day here at Utah, but they will be locally for the Big 12 championships coming up in a couple of weeks. Presented by Allstate, it returns to the Maverick Center in West Valley, Utah on Saturday, March 21st. This year's event features 2 sessions, the first starting at noon Mountain Time, followed by the second at 5 p.m. on ESPN Plus and ESPNU. West Virginia on vault, BYU on bars, Utah on floor for the 4th rotation. And this is Emerson Smith. Last week, matched the season and career high with a 9.825.
Very nice layout full to start. Good form throughout. Hop in place there. Was in the leadoff last week at Towson and went 9.825. Been in that leadoff throughout the season as well. Coach Butts as well said we would be remiss not to mention that she has learned some incredible new bar skills and expects to see her bar routine next season for the Mountaineers.
First up, on floor for Utah, Sarah Crum.
Maya Kirka starting on bars for BYU.
A little shy on that first handstand.
And now Sarah Crump here, like so many, grew up coming to these meets as a child, hoping one day to have a moment like this leading off floor on senior day.
We'll start with a double pike. The height was exceptional, does a great job maintaining form to land that flawlessly. And a really nice double layout over on bars from Maya Kirkham as well. Excellent straddle positions in this Spice Girls routine. Floor coach Maya Hambrick does all the choreography.
It's her second time on floor this season and her third overall routine of 2026.
Does 3 front elements in a row here, needs all 40 feet of the mat. Count them, front layout, front full, front pike, excellent landing. You really could not have scripted a storybook ending better than that. For Sarah Crump, blows a kiss to the crowd at the Huntsman. They really needed that. Floor, an event so far for the Red Rocks that have underperformed on uncharacteristically, fought her way into this lineup and does a phenomenal job.
A dream realized for Sarah Crump. And Kayla Smith going on vault there for West Virginia. Grew up in Holiday, Utah. Her parents going along with the idea to continue to push herself in gymnastics. The family moved to Las Vegas when she was 15 so she could train harder and better. And what a moment for her on senior day.
Yeah, love to see that happen on senior day. Addie Glazer, meanwhile, BYU on bars, clipped her foot on the bar, but did a really great job to maintain form and stay on. Double layout, step back. So not her very best. We've seen some great highs from her on this event. She's been in every meet on the season. Sophomore, this is the event that she specializes on.
So score is in for Sarah Crump, a 9.85. A heck of a start on the event for the Red Rocks. And now here's the sophomore Zoe Johnson coming off a 9.825 last week.
Difficult tumbling is the hallmark of this routine from Zoe Johnson, and it starts with a double layout.
Carly Nelson for West Virginia getting ready to go on vault.
So important to control this landing. Does a nice job. Large lunge, keeps the heel up though, so she doesn't go out of bounds. They reworked the choreography and composition of this routine so that she gets to this second pass more quickly. Very difficult front through to a double pike. Really high on the front, and nice landing on the double pike. Like on vault, I mentioned she has so much power. It's just about controlling it. She is a powerhouse. Great to see that all come together today. I'm going to check out the last pass again. The height on this front tuck made me a little nervous. It's so important to be in the right position between those series, and not an issue at all. Can't wait to see her work into some other lineups throughout her Utah career.
Back to the bars and Deb Silva. It's been a solid meet so far for BYU. 49 plus through the first 3 rotations.
Good handstand positions. Deb really clean on this event. The height on that Jaeger was phenomenal, but caught just at the edge of her fingertips. And again, height on that pack salto. A little bit extra arch there will be a deduction. It does a full out dismount, so does the full twist on the second somersault. And hangs on for the landing. It's their major floor, their highest ranked event. Their 22nd. Guard Young coaches this event. He's really proud of it. Those first two 9-7 scores, a little bit under their season averages, but Deb will help them improve that score, I'm sure.
She set a new career high a week ago. Now here's Avery Neff, who has improved a lot on floor throughout the season. In her last two meets at home, she has scored above a 9-9.
Difficult bounding, twisting combination will start Avery's routine. Front double twist into a front half. Coming right up. Front. Awesome. Had a little bit of a trouble with that in warm-up, but none in the competition. Carly talked about her competing free, and when she competes with joy, that it's a competitive advantage from her. She gets so competitive and so hard on herself that she loses focus of the fun that she has, and when she's competing freely, that's when she's at her best. She's made some just tiny errors today, but so far on the floor, looking like she's back to really enjoying what's happening. 1.5 to front layout will conclude this routine. Excellent job. Good form on the twisting. Love her musicality there. So she was a little bit early on that, and she, like the mask in that movie where this music is from, she just sort of cousin it, hand walked down the floor on that final pose. Really fun
Stretch
ending.
It.
Yep, stretch it out. It was really fun, and you could see her there. Talk about that hand position. Really fun routine from Avery Neff, and that 9.775 from Zoe, lower than they want to be on floor right now. I want Utah in the high 197s today. Low 198 would be ideal. Got to turn it up these last couple routines.
Carly DeCello on vault.
The distance on that vault was exceptional, nearly hit Jason Butts. She's well known in the gymnastics crowd. Her sister, Kayla DeCello, a Florida competitor and multiple-time U.S. national team member. And Kylie Aquinto, the senior, concluding her all-around meet tonight. Call her the mother hen of the team, and Guard Young talked to us about how he's actually been missing her preemptively all season. She's meant so much to the team.
A senior who grew up in Orem, Utah. And now here is Ella Zerbis, who's been the most consistent performer on the floor for the Red Rocks. All scores a 9.85 or higher this season.
They're gonna look to her to get into that 9.9 range with just a 9.85 from Avery Neff. Floor scoring a little tight today. Not a deduction to be found there from my perspective on her opening front double. Top ranked on the team in this event, has won 5 times. Just the whole package. Powerful, strong, artistic, elegant. Heard the crowd clap along to this one before. Really propelling her into the final pass. 1.5, front full, phenomenal landing. A beautiful finish for Ella Zerbis. Also, would be remiss to not talk about Sophie Rice's Souk full that she did on the side there for West Virginia. That was gorgeous. But that for Ella was one of the most complete routines I've seen from her this season. is so technically precise in her tumbling and her dance moves.
Tied for 10th in the nation on floor, which is an event that Utah as a team has improved on. They were ranked down in the 30s in late January. Now they're top 20 here in early March. Ava Jorgensen following the 9.825 from Aquinto.
A big ray in combination. Excuse me, not in combination, but just a big ray. Either way, does this combination there down to the bail. An exceptional bar worker, has a 9.9 career high. Little slightly shy on that first handstand, but this double layout, excellent. Wow. That routine was exceptional. The Sellies have really evolved in college gymnastics this season,
You
and
don't say.
I am not mad about it.
And the crowd getting onto its feet for McKenna Smith's final floor performance in the Huntsman Center.
You see the sunglasses on the fans behind her as this place gets loud. Front double to a front tuck to start. Kicks out, dances out, unreal. Important leap connection, gotta get those around. Nicely done. She's done this drop in all of her Utah routines. Is just a front combination pass away from this place absolutely erupting. There's the Rudy, layout, step out, the kick line. Just unbelievable. You love to see a senior go out like that. You can see the impact she has had on this crowd, this team. She hasn't gotten a 10 on this event, or shockingly any event in her Utah career. Not sure if these floor judges will do it, but it doesn't matter what the score is. Look at the response to McKenna Smith.
Standing ovation for the senior who has embodied this program so well.
And just what a special environment has been created for gymnastics. Really a blueprint on how you can market women's sports.
It's a 9.975, matches her career high.
We saw one judge go 10. The 10 was not to be had, but that does not at all diminish this moment for McKenna Smith and what she's meant to this program. Take the bow that you deserve.
1 of 1.
And the routine, or the meet's not over. We've got competitor left. Sage Curtis is next for the Red Rocks, and then Alila Alvarado will close things out for BYU.
Yep, we'll see Alvarado right here.
Is a stunning bar worker. That handstand position, beautifully done. Maloney to the bail, a little shy on that handstand position, rushed the bail a bit, but closes with a double layout. Nice and high. Oh, the hop in place. It was a great, great routine. And she was set up so well by Jorgensen's 9-9. Well-deserved and a good, strong 49 over for BYU on bars.
Yeah, they're flirting with their season high on the event. And one of BYU's best meets of the season. Now it's Sage Curtis, the lone event for the freshman. Was not in the lineup for the first 4 meets. Now her 6th straight week anchoring floor.
Reigning Big 12 newcomer of the week after nailing this routine and this double layout to start. Great job today. Good chest position. Carly said from the beginning, she is a powerhouse, an amazing performer, really has that it factor on this event. Another one of these local products that has been watching the Red Rocks since she was 3 years old, is what she told us. Great split, straddle position. A little bit of front tumbling here as she is dancing very close to the white line in the corner. 2 front fulls. Good positions and finish. So important for Sage Curtis in that moment. This was such a charged environment, but Utah really needed a high score from her to get them into that high 197 mark and drop off Zoe Johnson's score.
Last week had a season high 9.925, hoping for a 3rd straight 9.9 here in this rotation.
Really coming on so strong in that anchor role. It is a pressure-packed place to be in for a freshman at the end of that lineup. She has done that masterfully.
Exhibition here for BYU. Kari Hunsaker. BYU has matched their season high on bars with a 49.15. They are in with a 196.55, one of their best meets of the season.
And this has been a stunning bar routine from Hunsaker. Has worked through some injuries, and you could tell that ending of that double tuck was not exactly how she's used to landing, but the form was exceptional in that routine.
Poppy Stickler.
Poppy Stickler, the exhibition on floor here for Utah, and excited to do it in front of her family. They have made the trip all the way from Wales. Going to be around for the next couple of weeks following the team.
Came into Utah battling so many injuries, a fracture to L5, a hip avulsion fracture, some leg injuries, and to get back in shape and to do that double layout, went out of bounds, but no matter. This is the Poppy floor party, according to Coach Dockendorf and everyone in town. West Virginia team in the background getting into it. In addition to the Utah team, she's got them on all sides, cheering her on. Layout, layout, meant to be a Rudy there. Was in a couple lineups at the beginning of the season. Love the energy, love the joy. Love to see Poppy Stickler both in floor and in the vault lineup today.
So Utah with the 49.5 on floor. That makes 3 events where the Red Rocks were just short of their season highs. And if Beam goes a little bit smoother, they're pushing that 198 mark for a second time this season.
Yeah, so the 197.65 will be Utah's final team score. It's enough. It'll keep them in that 12th spot. Important for their regional seeding. as they've got one more regular season meet against UCLA next weekend. They're out to Poly Pavilion before postseason begins for these Red Rocks.
And for BYU, 49s across the board, 196.55. That is their third highest mark this season. And West Virginia, solid throughout the meet, 195.3. You love to see everybody sticking throughout the 4 rotations. Lots of phenomenal gymnastics on display here today. Well, we are delighted to have the woman of the hour here, McKenna Smith, joining us at the table. Nick Cope, Elisa Mao, congratulations on the day. The standing ovation we just saw moments ago was remarkable. How would you describe that experience?
Oh, it's the most surreal feeling ever. I don't think I've ever heard the Huntsman that loud, and it's amazing to know that it was for me.
Okay. Obviously, the sunglasses. I had to put them on for this. Thank you for them. Talk about this and what the fans have meant to you in your career.
Oh, the fans have meant everything. I mean, to me, Utah Gymnastics is such a legacy program, and everything that we have, to me, is because of the fans. I mean, the support in the stands, all of the other things that we get to do, to me, it's all because of them. And so being able to do sunglasses or do something so little to me, it makes me feel so amazing that they appreciate it so much.
I don't know that I've seen somebody compete just with so much fire and joy. Where does that come from for you?
I mean, I've always tried my best to have the most fun. That was what I was told before every meet by my parents, my grandparents, every single person. They told me to go out there and have fun. I don't care how you do, as long as you can walk away with a smile on your face.
So we're going to send you off to your senior celebration here, but
yes.
9975, career high on floor. Could you have scripted a better ending to your career at the Huntsman?
Absolutely not. It was everything I could have dreamed of and more, and still got a couple sunglasses left, so I got to get those passed out.
It's been such a delight to watch you. Thank you for everything you've done for the program.
Thank you for everything you guys have done too.
Yeah, thanks so much for your time. Great news is for gymnastics fans, we got a lot more of you to see.
Absolutely, yeah.
McKenna Smith joining us here. Heck of a senior day for her and for Utah as they take this tri-meet with a score of 197.65.
McKenna Smith took the floor title. Love to see her conclude that way. Started with a great vault rotation. Ella Zerbis takes that title. She also was so strong in her other events, but senior night, the other senior we want to talk about who won bars, Anna Paterario, career highs from your 2 seniors on bars and floor, and the other 2 got to see an exhibition from Ashley Glenn, and then Sarah Crump in the leadoff on floor. Storybook night for the seniors.
Most definitely. And Ella Zerbis wins the all-around title as well. Utah has the senior day meet that they were looking for. What a day here in Salt Lake City. West Virginia, BYU, Utah, all performing well, and it's been a treat. For Elisa Mao, producer-director Zach Blaine, Elizabeth Ahlstrom, who's been with us all season long, Nick Cope saying so long from Salt Lake City. Utah celebrates Senior Day in style. This has been a presentation of ESPN.